Welcome everybody, Mortem here. Today we're going to be playing actually my probably favorite game of all time. This is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It was originally on PlayStation 1. I am using an emulator to play it. Just a quick heads up though, I do own a physical copy of this game, so I'm not pirating it. I mean, it is out there, and I'm sure people can find ways to find what I've found for it, but it's an amazing game. It deserves you buying it. I believe it's available on the Xbox store if you're an Xbox player. The controls are a little bit different, of course. It's going to appear as though it's a PlayStation game because of the emulator, but I am using an Xbox controller, so my X button and the A button will technically be swapped for this. But this game has some of probably the best music in a game for its time, as well as it is amazing to play through. I've already done a little bit in this save file here. I'm actually going to create another one though for the purposes of this video so that I can start fresh. But essentially what we're doing at the moment is the emulator has kind of a random function that someone created for it, where you can kind of randomize items in this game, and that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to go ahead and create a new save file and start it. But essentially, we should probably read this. Journey back to 1792 in the Transylvanian countryside of Romania. Here we have Dracula's castle. Yeah, that is probably one of the, I feel like, most iconic little intro videos from the PlayStation 1 days. This is the final stage of Castlevania Bloodlines, is what we're actually about to play. And I am Richter Belmont here, I do believe, if I have my, yeah, it does say Richter in the top left, so it is Richter. Castlevania series has a thing for having the Belmont clan be like the epitome of vampire hunters, and other people do join in here and there, but mostly Castlevania is kind of the story of the Belmont clan and kind of them continually fighting Dracula with other people thrown in, and this game actually focuses on one of those other people. So right here I'm actually Richter Belmont using a whip called the Vampire Killer Whip, or Vampire Hunter Whip, I forget the actual terminology for it, but it is a whip that has like very holy properties to it. I think the way it was created was actually through someone had to sacrifice their life in order to create it. Right now I'm just going to farm some hearts because they're very useful for the next part, because I want to try and beat Dracula since it is the final level of a previous game. I'm just kind of going through and getting some things. It doesn't give me anything when I pick up like the a la carte shield and things, but those items will come up later. But yeah, this randomizer, what it does is it actually randomizes the items in the game to where the only way I can actually tell what an item isn't by the name of it or by how it looks. I can only tell what item it is by the description of the item, because it randomizes like everything else. It even randomizes like which enemies will get it. right here. I'm in a cutscene. This is an iconic cutscene, so I'm gonna let it go.
You don't belong in this world.
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
Perhaps the same could be said of all religions.
Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you.
Iconic little thing that happens right there. That whole conversation is pretty amazing, to be totally honest. I'm doing the Hydra Storm right now because the potion I picked up in those hearts earlier to be able to kind of cheese Dracula a little bit, because it'll take away quite a lot of his health typically. I'll do it again. It should be able to, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. Now he's transforming, so this is the second form for this boss. We're gonna Hydra Storm again. Try and get some keys into him. Hydra Storm one more time. And thankfully we were invulnerable during that, so we actually finished with full health, which I think gives us added luck in the beginning of the new one, if I remember right. It might be something else it gives us, but gives us a little something extra for having beaten him with full health. So this has actually turned out to be a wonderful playthrough. I'm happy about it. It was Richter Belmont, the legendary vampire hunter, who succeeded in finally ending the menace of Count Dracula, Lord of the Vampires, who had been brought back from the grave by the dark priest Shaft. However, one night, 4 years later, under the glare of a full moon, Richter mysteriously vanished. With no idea of where to begin her search, Maria Renard set out to look for him. It was then that fate intervened. Castlevania, the Castle of Dracula, which is rumored to appear once every century, suddenly materialized from out of the mist as if to show her the way. Meanwhile, powerful forces were struggling for the soul of a man named Alucard, the very same Alucard who had teamed up with Trevor Belmont to battle his immortal father, Count Vlad Tepes Dracula. Alucard, in order to purge the world of his own cursed bloodline, had submerged his vampiric powers and entered into what was supposed to be an eternal slumber. But now, he's awake and aware of evil once again at work in his homeland. The time has once again come for the forces of good and evil to engage in their ancient battle. Dracula's castle beckons for you, and no man can say who shall emerge victorious. And there's that just amazing music in the background for this game. It's so iconic, I feel like. It's just, I have shivers, like, running up my spine from these audio tracks. That's how much I love this game. Like, it's just amazing. I actually have looked up before, like, ways to glitch the game to get a higher completion percentage, and at one time, I think the highest was either 206.6 or 216.6, I forget which, and I've tied whoever that world record holder was. I think recently somebody found a new way to be able to get a higher completion percentage than that, so there's like a new record holder. I haven't gone through my old PlayStation save file and tried to see if I can replicate that. It is very difficult to do. I might spend a little bit of time in this room. Oh, a Vorpal Blade dropped from that guy. That is actually really, really good. It doesn't seem like it's good here, but later it gets really, really good. So I'm actually going to take that. These guys I'll die in one hit anyway, but level up. That was dumb of me. Tried to jump over, but it didn't happen. Should've just smacked him. Wolfie boy takes some of my health, it's fine. I know I'll be alright. But yeah, with this randomizer, it kind of makes the game a little bit more difficult, because there's certain items in the game that you need at certain points to be able to get certain other items. And because it's all randomized, those things are not gonna be in really the same place anymore. So it's gonna be a little different. I'm trying to see if these guys drop anything, because I haven't actually fought them. They drop some hearts. Level ups are easy to get from them. They do spit stuff, so I'm trying to watch out for that. Yeah, see. Alright, enough of that. They didn't drop anything all that great. I'm not going to farm them forever, so... I'm going to switch back, actually, to the other sword that it gave me. The item said it was the Vorpal sword, but playing with it, I don't think it actually was, because it gets stronger when bloodied, so that tells me that it's actually the Muramasa, not the Vorpal sword. And I forgot about the whole, I have to watch out for descriptions of things being different than the name. If it was actually the Vorpal sword, this would have been a very easy playthrough. Now I'm going to have Death here take all my shit.
Alucard, what is your business here?
I've come to put an end to this.
Still befriending mortals. I'll not ask you to return to our side, but I demand you cease your attack.
I will not.
You shall regret those words. We will meet again.
Hey look everybody, I made it into a video game. There I go. Bye me. Thanks for taking all my shit. Man, Death. What an asshole, right? There is ways to glitch around Death, but I did not do any of them there. I could use the Asafun Katana that it just gave me, but it says it's a bloodthirsty sword, which means it's not actually the Asafun Katana, it's something else. I don't know which one it is, but it's a two-handed one. I prefer the one-handed weapons when I can use them. The Muramasa is a pretty good sword, though, once you get further along with it. And this armor that I just got, surprisingly matched. Here's a save point right here, so I'm gonna real quick save the game so I don't lose progress. I like how this game has, like, a coffin that just, like, materializes and then breaks apart for me to save in, because, you know, I'm Dracula's son. I'm, you know, half vampire. If you're a D&D player, that would make me a Dampier. That was the Jewel of Open, which normally, right there, you're supposed to get the Cube of Zoe, which actually makes items materialize. When I would, like, hit something like this, something would pop out of it. Might only be, like, a dollar of the game's currency. It might be a heart that you need to be able to use, like, little secondary weapons, or potentially a secondary weapon itself. From the little bit that I've played of this playthrough before, to see kind of how this random thing went, it was pretty much that there was no... Yeah, I thought that was going to hit me. I don't have a shield to block those, but... I want that quote. There we go. Oh, there used to be a thing there I thought to break, but I guess it's not there anymore. Maybe that's something to do with the randomizer, not sure. But these spikies can kill me. I want to go over them. A life apple. Normally there's supposed to be a leather shield that pops out of that thing. Now it's a life apple instead. And for anybody wondering that has played this game before, the item randomizations that they have are specific to the item pool. So, like, the life apple would be at least some type of, like, food. I was trying to get up there, but it looks like it's not going to happen. I think I need secret boots to be able to get up there, and then I can get up there. Because I have just a tiny bit more height when that happens. There's a secret area here. I love the secret areas in this game. There's so many of them. And out should pop something. Oh, katana. Alright. At least least it says it's a katana. I should actually check. Yeah, unsigned katana. So that one's slightly better than one that I have. And I think the katana has a little, yeah, has a little special attack thing you can do with it. The special attacks are nice. This one gives me a silver ring. I think the rings are actually correctly named. Yeah, sparkling ring, sellable. It's supposed to say sellable, but they said it's saleable. That is actually a mistake that was, I think, made in the original game. Just the English translation when it came over from Japan was just kind of how it ended up. But the point was there, it got across. It's like the only fault that I know of in this game, really. Got an Ankh of Life, which is actually kind of helpful, so we're going to put on that if I can find it. Oh, is it not an Ankh of Life? Did it lie to me? Oh, no, it's down here. Okay. Yeah, it did lie to me. It's not an Ankh of Life. So it looks like that it is not correct for all of the item names in the item pool then for rings. So I was wrong. Something that I wanted to mention about this game is that they don't really make games like this anymore. There's actually like a big controversy. These type of games are called Metroidvania games, is what kind of the community centered around. Games that are RPG sort of games like this, where you get like new equipment and things. They're, for whatever reason, game development companies thought they weren't going to do well and they wouldn't sell well, so they just kind of stopped making them. And the assistant, I think it was assistant director or assistant producer of this game, one of the two, I can't remember his title for it, but he actually started a Kickstarter for a game called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and through that Kickstarter, it is the boss battle, by the way, through that Kickstarter they raised enough money to be able to create Bloodstained, and it was supposed to be the spiritual successor of this game. These guys are not super hard for a boss. I typically deal with them pretty easily. I like to take out this guy first, because he's easier to get murdered. There we go. And then this guy. He fires like this, he turns red. This red thing, he can do bigger ones like that, but I already murdered him, so it's over. Now I just wait, there's a life max up after every boss. We move on. These guys can power up the Mortem, because it gets more powerful when it gets bloodied. So I can actually kind of mess around with them and get my sword to be a little bit stronger. Because let's see, what is it at right now? My attack is 11 for that weapon. Let's go back here. What is it now? Still 11. Should get more powerful, but it's seemingly not wanting to. Should be a save point right here, I believe. Yep. I've got most of this map pretty well memorized because I have played through this game so many times. If I had to take a guess, I have probably played this game somewhere close to, I want to say about 50 times, all the way from like start to finish. And I would not say that's an exaggeration at all. This is, like I said, one of my most favorite games. It's got a lot of fun to be had in it, and now having found that there's a randomizer, because someone had mentioned it to me, that can, you know, randomize the weapons and make things a little bit more interesting. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. Come on. these little spittle guys can get cursed. So it's important to kind of try to dodge them. Money! Money's always good. We've done a little bit of a circle, but we came down here just for bats. That was the big thing. Wanted to grab by coming down here. Gonna go this way. These little rooms were kind of cool because they actually put in the PlayStation 1 version of the game. You could open up the PlayStation and take out the disc and put in another disc and actually listen to music on this. And then take that CD back out and put in the game CD again. And then you could leave this room and it would still load the game back. Like, you wouldn't lose where you were in the game. So these little rooms, that's why they say CD above, because you could actually like swap out a CD to listen to some music in the middle of your playthrough and then swap back. Another really cool thing about this game was, I don't know if it was the first game to do it, but they had a secret song they had put on the disc that the only way to listen to the secret song was if you actually took your PlayStation 1 disc and put it into a radio and like a CD player of some sort, and when you listened to the first song, nothing would happen because the first song on the disc was actually like the game data, so your CD player would be trying to read the game data and wouldn't know what to do and just wouldn't read it. But then when you skipped past that song, went to the second song that was on the disc, it would actually be the secret song, and it was actually a pretty cool secret song. If anybody has the time or wants to go look it up, there's, I mean, you can, I'm sure, find the secret song on YouTube by looking it up. But it has a little part where like an announcer voice for the game comes on and will say like, these guys are my least favorite enemy. I absolutely hate the little fleamen. So annoying. They're hard to hit. They jump around all weird and random. I just don't like it. Clock tower. Super cool clock tower, by the way. Yeah, the secret song is just amazing. Like, I didn't even know it existed because, I mean, it was, you know, days before the internet was really a thing. Like, nobody had internet access to look up all these secrets and things. Like, if you wanted to find the secrets, you had to buy a book for, like, $20, $30, $50 to find all the secrets in the game. And even then, those books don't always have all the secrets. It was just kind of how the time was. So, unless you're going to Barnes & Noble and find a book to go through and find everything, you either had to know somebody who knew the secrets who found them themselves, or you were just out of luck, you didn't know that secret existed. And there was always, you know, the kids on the playground sort of situation where they're like, oh, did you hear about how you can do something that's actually completely impossible? And you might spend hours trying to do the thing that they said, when really you can't do it. There's no way. It's like a different version of the game that it was on, or things like that. Like this was, I'm playing the PlayStation 1 version, but it is actually Sega Saturn, I want to say, version that has like a whole extra area, and after you beat the game, you can play as like an extra secret person. Because when you beat this game, you can actually play through all this part that I'm doing right now as Richter Belmont over again, and go through the whole game as him instead of as Alucard. And it's fun to do that. I'll say that, it is fun to do that. Got a Claymore, which is actually something different, I think. Yeah, it's a flame-edged two-handed sword, which I can't remember off the top of my head which two-handed swords that is, because I generally in this game did not use the two-handed swords. That's generally sword and board. You know, for people who don't know, that means sword and shield. I'm gonna go back a bit, because there was an area this way. Right now I'm using the two-handed sword just because it is better than right there. I'm doing the backdash. It's better than what I had, I think. Going this direction, you can find potential other stuff. So I'm gonna go look around for that. Ah! Okay, this guy's a dick. These are another enemy that I hate because they're annoying. Ah! Ow! Like, see, I can't even see that guy. And this guy, if I try and jump and hit him, I get hit by that. There we go. Killed that guy at least. I'm gonna walk out of this room. It's gonna be a save point. I'm gonna use it quick. In case I get stuck in an area I can't get out of. Use the randomizer thing. Because there's certain items that give you the ability to actually get to or out of certain areas, and if you don't have them, then you could just get stuck in this pretty easily. I wanted to jump there, but this claymore makes me so slow. It's just the attack animation for it is pretty awful. I want to say there's a secret here, yeah? Yeah, look at that. What are you? Lunch A. Well, you're not super helpful. Thought maybe the text there would be readable, because I felt like I remembered there being hit the up button and you could read things like that, but couldn't remember what it said if you could. It looks like you can't, so it don't matter. I can skip these guys. Oh. Nope. Just kind of want to kill him for the experience right now. Maybe he drops something nice, maybe he doesn't. Oh. There we go. Oh, what did he drop? Says it's a Gladius. Has a different thing. It's just a standard sword, but it's got a lot better attack than what we had, so we're gonna take it and try it. Quicker too. But yeah, this game is, I mean, exactly what you're seeing so far. There's boss battles, there's things like that. I probably make it look easy because I have so much experience in this game that, I mean, I know how enemies attack, I know what enemies are going to be hard, what ones I'm going to be able to beat easily, based on kind of what I have, sort of situation. What's this? Sushi. It keeps giving me food in places that normally I think there's better items than food. But food you can use to heal. There's also like health potion things that you can get to, but I don't typically use them. Ooh, what is this shield? It says it's an iron shield, but it's got the a la carte looking part of the shield instead. Resembles family shield. Yeah, okay, this is the a la carte shield, which is better than no defense. Oh, it actually has the iron shield though for the graphic on it. That's interesting. I thought it would still show the a la carte shield because it's supposed to be by... Huh. Weird. When I get the shield rod, I'm going to test something out, but I haven't found the shield rod yet, so I'm just going to let that go. I know heading this way, there's another save point. I'm going to actually not save at this one, because I'm afraid I might get stuck down here if I can't get back up here. Which I can, can't I? Yeah, I can get back up there, right? Jump here, jump there, yeah, I should be okay. I think I'll save. One of my favorite boss battles is actually, I believe, coming up here shortly. No, actually, sorry. That is the... There's a whole nother Dracula's Castle, aside from the one that we're in. They literally put behind, in this game, behind the original castle, they put a whole nother castle that you cannot get to unless you have a specific item and wear it during a specific boss fight. Yeah, I can't go to that yet. It's a pair of glasses that let you see, I think it says you can see the effects of curses or something like that. But what it means is the final boss in the first castle on this one, which, spoilers ahead, fair note, is Richter Belmont. Here you. I'll take a damage, I'm fine. And of this castle, it's Richter Belmont, and Richter Belmont is the shit. The water really hurts you here, and it's not cool. Yeah. Here we go. But spaghetti. We're gonna actually eat some of the food that it's given us because we just lose some health, and this next boss fight is a little bit more of a pain than I like. But there's a whole upside down castle in this game after you beat Richter the proper way, which is actually like there will be like a little orb thing floating around that if you kill the orb thing instead of killing Richter, you will actually end up having Richter be like, oh, I was under the effects of a curse and blah blah blah, and she's got these annoying head things. Those blue things will try and attack us like that. Oh shit, I didn't expect that last one. When they yell at things. Stop it! Dodge it! I dodged the first one, not the second. Yeah, said this guy's a little more. A little bit more challenging. Not horribly challenging, but a little more. Life max up. What's this one? Ooh, okay, these are cool. In the relics, there are bat cards and things like that that you can get, which are little like familiars that will help you out. And the bat is this little guy. So I have a little bat friend who will help me attack and kill shit. He levels up on his own too, and he gets like more powerful over time, sort of a thing. So yeah, it's kind of nice that, I mean, playing a vampire, I found the bat card first. I believe typically through this game you don't find the bat first, you find the fairy first. Go this way. Ooh, found a Joseph's cloak is what it says it is. What is it actually? It is actually the Joseph's cloak. Cool. So that means we can go into here and we can customize the way that our cloak looks. And I like to put it at, if I go this direction, I think it's faster. Yep. I like to put it about, that's green. I don't want green. I'll take out the green. I'll put in a little blue. Nope, that's not getting the way I want. Maybe want to kind of make it like a blood red sort of a look. And I think right about there looks pretty good. Looks good to me. Keep it. Yeah, there we go. So this is more kind of how Alucard typically looks at the start of the game. But in this case, since we had the randomization thing, the Joseph's cloak, which we just found, was originally on. I didn't take the time to change it earlier because Death was going to take it away anyway. So, or I should say, I was going to take it away anyway, I suppose. But yeah. I don't know if I can go to the left yet, because I haven't found either of the two items which would allow me to go to the left side and really get stuff done. But I will go take a check and see how far I can get. These frogs are also one of the annoying enemies. I get more annoyed by like the basic enemies a lot of time than I do the bosses. This, moving that there, blocks that water stream, so now these guys who normally would be stabbing me and I wouldn't be able to hit them, die. And then anytime I come back to this area, they'll be dead still. Found a strength potion. Alright. Is it actually a strength potion? Question mark. Finding out. Temporarily raises strength. Yes, it is. Okay. Oh, another thing about the randomizer, apparently things like how strong a weapon is. Like, I might find the strongest weapon in the game, and it might actually be completely horrible. Because, like, the stats of the weapon apparently are changed. So that's another thing I have to kind of expect. I have to jump on these pieces of ice, because if I go into the water, I get hurt. Because, I don't know, I guess vampires are expected to be... Since they normally would walk on water, you know, with old lore, if they go underneath the water, it hurts them. I don't entirely understand why. Maybe it's supposed to be like my character can't hold his breath very long. Maybe I can't swim. I mean, he doesn't swim, so that's a thing, but you can kind of run through. This area is kind of interesting, because you normally wouldn't be able to get to this item unless you know that you would want to do the backdash there. And I know about that. I can put on... It says it's a bandana, it's actually a circlet, but it'll improve my intelligence, so I might as well take it. And the thing that says it's a covenant stone is actually just another valuable ring I can sell. That's all it is. Now this part, if I jump down here, I will be stuck going through an entire section I may not be able to get out of, so I'm not going to go that way. Not yet, anyway. I'll come back to this area later. There is an item called either the Jump or Leap Stone. I can't remember the specific name of it, but it gives you the ability to double jump. And double jump is super, super important in this game because it gives you so much more places that you can go and do things. So for right now, we did the boss fight in this area. Oh hey, look, a Resist Holy. That'll come in handy next to fighting Richter. This game total, probably to beat it, would be, I don't know, likely a good several hours, I feel like, probably, to beat this game. Almost always. Like, I'm sure there's probably people who speedrun it and done it in, like, so many minutes, but generally speaking, I'm gonna save before I go up there. Generally speaking, there's a lot of content to go through, so it can take a very long time. My current reason for playing this instead of doing the Resident Evil stuff I had promised you guys, which I still intend to do. I have every intention to go do the Resident Evil 7 playthrough and finish that. My current reasoning is, unfortunately, Elgato is still just a complete pain in the butt. Customer service people and everything are nice. Like, it's not, you know, not being mean or nothing. It's just a matter of I'm in that hole. You're stuck in the system where you're at their mercy to get your problem fixed. And, you know, the company knows it, and it's a rare occurrence, so they just don't really care when it's a rare occurrence, you know? Kind of that sort of thing. Like, they'll say they care, but their policies and things are not made for speed when it matters to you, sort of a thing. And I'm just one guy, so what's it matter for me, right? I'm not some company that purchased thousands of things from them. Anyway, that aside, can't get what's up there, can we? Yeah, I think I need to double jump to be able to get what's in that one. Well, real quick save, since we did make a little progress getting up here. Now I'll have to redo all that if I die. It's just kind of a pain in the butt when that happens. You save pretty often in this game. It's just how it is. Every time you leave a room and come back, the enemies respawn. So. Still though, that music though. Man, that music. Oh man, do I love this music. One of my favorite classical songs is on this game. I gotta double check my map. Yeah, I wanna go this way and then down. But, one of my favorite songs is in this, not this game, but is in this series. It's called, Tears of Blood. And it's, I believe, originally in Rondo of Blood, which is like a Japanese version of this, not this specific game, but a game in this series. They don't, not all the games in this series look this good. This is, to me, this is the best Castlevania game out of any of them. And yeah, it's a, 2.5D side-scroller, but it just looks amazing compared to all the other ones. They tried doing 3D ones and they did not go well, just because the 3D implementation was not done correctly. But in this game, this 2.5D style, the eyeball, I mean, back there floating around in the background, if you noticed it, that's just kind of spying on me back there. Yeah, he's a thing. Ooh, a combat knife. Is that actually the combat knife? I'm really happy right now. Nope, it's just a short sword. It says it's a combat knife. Actually a short sword. The short sword is a very weak weapon in comparison. But the combat knife is a very fast weapon in this game, so that's what I was hoping it actually might have been it, but it wasn't. Gave me false hope. All the false hope in this one. This one, before in my playthrough, I went down and ended up dying. I might go up this time instead, which means a boss battle, but I'll deal with it, because there's a save point. And it's not a very difficult boss battle. Especially not when I got a little bat friend to help me. Oh, something kind of interesting that'll happen too. I got my character sit down right here just by pushing the up button on the chair. And if I sit here long enough, sometimes my familiars will do different things. Like I think for the bat, a question mark will just appear above his head. For the fairy, she'll actually like come and like sit on your shoulder, I think it is. So just kind of different things that happen that are cool little extras, little Easter eggs they put in. There used to be things, that whole like playground kid sort of discussion that I was talking about. Like kids would say, oh, if you sit in that chair for an hour, eventually something happens, and then you go, leave your game running for an hour and nothing happens. I do like this little introduction thing that happens for this boss battle. It's kind of nice. This is my favorite set of boss battles. What we're fighting right now is my doppelganger. So don't get confused, I'm the one on the left. There we go, I got him. Get out of here, bud. That was actually a much easier doppelganger fight than I think I ever remember having, which might be because I'm level 14. I feel like I'm way stronger than I normally am, and that might just be because I have a stronger weapon than I normally would have. I think normally right now I'd probably still be fighting him with the short sword, which comparatively is about half as strong, so. It says it's a pentagram. What is it actually? It's actually the coin that you can flip and have one of two effects. One of them is it does like absolutely nothing, the other one is it does something actually helpful. Can't get across there. I always try it though. I always try that one first time. It's a time waster. Shouldn't do it, but I always do. If you're wondering what my bat was just doing, he was about to attack. That's why he had the little exclamation point. Since we beat the boss, we could real quick save. This next area gets kind of annoying, is how the enemies are. I have 128 HP though at this point, which is pretty high, I feel like, for where I'm going in this, but we should be getting pretty close to the library. The library is a very important piece of this game, because there are things that will be on sale at the library that will be super important. This little room, I always felt like this would be a door here to go somewhere. And I don't know if that was used in the Sega Saturn version as a way to get to the extra area that this game does not have since it's the PlayStation 1 version. But it may be. Go turn on the elevator. There you go. Ooh, that is the first secondary weapon I have found in this game. I'll show you what it does. Kind of covered up what I was doing there, but it shoots a dagger out. And if you notice in the top up there, it's got the little floating heads can turn me into stone, so they're actually like to be weary about. That's why you'll see me chop them pretty consistently. There is a way of moving around this whole game that's a little faster, which is the press Y thing, but since I'm talking to you at the same time, I am kind of taking it a little bit with kind of pacing myself a little bit, doing the normal run, doing a little more bunny hop sort of jumps to get around rather than sliding all over the place. I will, I think, eventually just start getting sick of having to traverse the castle, and I'll probably start doing the more speed run thing of this kind of tactic of dashing really fast that they use. I don't want to go to that room yet. I'm going to go down here again. Now we've got the elevator activated. See, those guys can mess me up when I'm trying to do the thing I was talking about. This room is the way to get to the library. Oh, no, this is the teleport room. Okay, we'll do a quick teleport. It'll bring us way back towards the beginning of the map, but we'll get an item for it, so I'll do it. Bring up the map here. We just teleported from the right end of the map to the left, where we're at right now, where the little circle thing's going. And we just opened up this. Show you where we're actually at. We're back here again. The bat's going to town this day. But yeah, it's quite a trek to get back this way. So the teleport rooms are very, very helpful. There's several of them throughout this map, because I mean it's a big map. I mean, we've spanned the left and right of it pretty excessively, but there's still up and down to go. As we go on, we'll unlock more teleport rooms. Just kind of as we find them. This, normally right here, we would find something called the Soul of the Wolf, which would let us actually transform ourselves into a wolf, kind of like a druid's wild shape ability. But, we don't have that right now, because it's all randomized where they're put. So instead we got some sort of a ring, which looked like the Holy Ring. Oh, Takamitsu it says, but is it? It's actually the Asafun Katana, which, proof that it's all randomized. This says it's the Asafun Katana, but this is the description for the Asafun Katana, so clearly not the same. Let's see, we've got new item though, I think down here. Yeah, this right here, this item that we just got is actually this ring that says it's the silver ring would actually be a not sellable item. It would actually have the inscription wear clock, and then the gold ring has in tower, and so it's actually, you're supposed to wear both rings. You wear them in the clock tower, so it kind of hints at it that way, and it unlocks certain areas when you do what it says, wear it in the clock tower. And yeah, the only way to get into that certain area is through that method. It says it's a velvet hat. What is it actually? The felt hat. Gives me better defense and better overall stats, so we'll swap it out for the bandana. Now we ain't a gangsta. Now we just wearing mom's do-rag she gave us. Makes me think of if you've seen the scene in what's the show? I should know this show. It's one of my favorite shows. Firefly. The scene in Firefly where the character gets the hat from his mom in the post, and he's like, "Hey, you guys, what do you think? Does it make me look good?" And it's just this like bright orange hat that looks, you know, terrible on him. But his friends are all like, "Yeah, it makes you look really strong." It's like, thanks. He's actually like super happy about the fact that his mom made him a hat, and I love that scene because he's like supposed to be this big badass that loves guns in the show, and he ends up actually like being a softie at heart. Like he's, you know, respects his mom. He's gonna wear the hat that his mom gave him. He's that kind of guy. I like it. It was great. Yeah, Firefly, if you've never checked it out, it's a very, very good show to watch. Would definitely recommend putting it on your watch list. It was on Netflix a while back. I don't believe it still is. Wanted to do an angle hit. One of the things to note about this game, since it was from the PlayStation 1 days, it does not use the joysticks. It actually uses the analog directional pad. So you have to play this game with the directional pad. It doesn't have any implementation of the joysticks. So when I do an attack like this, or like this, sorry, like this, or like this, no, it's still doing, sometimes the button sticks a little bit, so I get a different attack. This attack and this attack is the difference between down and down, right or left.
It's been a long time, old one.
Oh, it's you, Master Alucard. What do you need?
I need your help.
Young Master, I cannot aid one who opposes the Master.
You won't go unrewarded.
Really? In that case, just tell me what you need.
So basically this guy is playing both sides. He's a servant of Dracula, but he does like Alucard, so he wants to help him. But he's like, I can't help you or he'll get mad. Well, what if I buy it from you? And then he's like, oh, money, I'm greedy. Yeah, sure, let's do that.
I'm interested in this.
The Eye of Vlad is actually an item that you need in the Upside Down Tower to be able to fight the final boss. So we need that.
Thank you.
And it's going to take most of our money. Probably bought it too early. Probably should have waited, but these other items are not what they say they are, and their prices are all randomized to, like this says it's the Alucard shield, and by the description I believe it actually is, so I kind of want to get $400 and go buy that, because that's one of the best ones. This is the Alucard mail, but it's not, it's actually the walk mail, or the walk armor, this one. This one says strongest of all armor, which makes me think it might be the Alucard armor. I'm not as good on matching descriptions of items to the actual item. That's the difficult thing here. You can get a basic map of the castle, but I already know it, so we don't really need it.
Farewell for now.
Oh,
What
I
can I
should
do for you?
sell
I'm
things
interested
to
in
him.
this.
I have
Thank you. Thank you.
So that Covenant Stone that we found earlier was actually, I think, a diamond ring is what we found. So that's really nice, because it's worth a lot of
Thank
money.
you.
So
I'm interested in this.
now we can look more closely through this and figure out what we want to get.
Farewell for now.
Leave. Alright. He has some other things that are for sale there, like it's like a tactics thing that basically it shows you how to fight a boss that you've already fought and beat it without taking damage or like without taking much damage at all. Things like that. But we're not gonna worry about that. Go up, because normally there's a relic up here. Not remember which relic it is. Find out. It is the Soul of Wolf. Okay, this is the thing I was talking about earlier. We're gonna wait for these things down best to come up. Because we want to kill them where we can see them. If they drop them nice. But they don't. Or at least they didn't. They might, but don't know. Oh, we should probably equip our Alucard shield, since it is. Oh, it's actually worse than the Iron Shield? Interesting. So the Alucard shield, which says it's an Iron Shield, is not as good. Interesting. Let's look at some of the other things we picked up. Frightens enemies, lowers defense. This helmet is actually really good, so we do want that one. Restores HP. So the walk armor or strongest of all armors. So we'll go with this armor, which is the one that I have selected right here is actually the walk armor. The one that is on my body up here is actually the Alucard mail, I believe, or the diamond mail. I cannot remember which. I will have to check later. But it is stronger defense. That's what we want. Just got a Blocktawa, which is a throwable weapon, but is it actually? Plain, easy to use war sword. So this one is actually, I think, the cutlass maybe, but it has the emblem for a cursed sword. It's not a Blocktawa, because that's a throwable weapon. Ah, shit, so right now all I can do is kind of wait this out. If I try and attack, nothing happens. So I gotta get that bird dude, or bat dude, we'll kill him. Call him bird dude, that's wrong. There we go. Curse finally wore off, but that's what these guys do, they curse you. I don't think there's much of a difference between the gray one and the pink one. Yeah, we went that way. I think we did everything we can do right now in this area anyway. $5, that's good. What am I at, money-wise? 2,000 something. Okay, I think I need like 4,000 for the other item I wanted to get. Now we'll go back the way we came. Kill him, dodge him. Hey, level up. Nice, nice, nice. So every level I do get a little bit of strength, constitution, intelligence, luck, like those sorts of things. Kind of randomly rolls what I gain. I have gone through a playthrough and redone the game several times just to try and get the max roll for luck, and it does pay off when you do the max roll for luck, because there's an item in the game that's very hard to get. The only way to get it is a specific enemy, and you can kill that enemy hundreds of times before you get its rare drop, and its rare drop is just this amazing sword. and you don't want one of them, you actually want two of them, because you can back and forth between the two attacks, and you can just do crazy amounts of damage. And oh man, it's an amazing weapon, but it's just such a grind to have to get it. Oh man. This is the clock tower, which is full of these skull guys. 3 hits to kill right now. But they are kind of annoying. There's an item down here, that's why I'm going down here. I'll probably end up back down here, so I'll mess up later, but... Ah, hit him. Yeah, hit him. I thought there was an item down here. I guess there isn't. Well. Just this music. Like, each area having its own little soundtrack. It's just so melodic and wonderful music, it really is. This area, I gotta kind of jump. Ah, shit. See, that's what I was talking about. I'll probably screw up and grab the money real quick. Thanks for the $50, pal. Kind of made falling down there a little bit worth it. But yeah, the process of getting over there, I think, requires the double jump, and I don't have it. So I have to go another way. Yes, I do a specific thing with Soul of Wolf, which I found, which I'm gonna try once and see. Double forward, double forward, go. So he will run and jump. Yeah, that's alright. I don't mind if I do. Here you go. Come on. Yeah, get him, Patty. I feel like the bat kind of needs a name, but I don't know what to name him. Alright, turn to the wolf, run, jump. I'm not going to be able to make that, I don't think. Oh, there's an item up there, though, I might need. So we're going to start over. Yeah, this part is a little bit tedious, but... Run. Huh. Hey, you dropped TNT. Nice. Cross shuriken. Get him, buddy. I need this one out of the way for me to be able to jump. Can I make it? No, damn. Probably need the double jump, I think, to get across then. I don't think I have enough room on that one to be able to do the dog thing. He dropped what's called Mirror Curious. It has the item of... Okay, it is actually the Mirrored Curious. Nice. I like that one's the same name. That one actually keeps me from turning into stone. So if they try to turn me into stone, they won't. That's nice. And hang on. Oh yeah, I did take a little bit of a defense debuff from that, but you know what? I'm going to work with it because I'd rather not get turned into stone and going back to this part. Like I have to, because I'm going to have to backtrack. There's some other places I will have to go. So to get there... I'm going to take the teleporter here in a second. Kill some dudes for the next people. This is the teleporter room, right? Yes. We are going to go teleport to a room that you can only open if you have the Jewel of Open, and we did get it way earlier, so we're going to go do that. But yeah, I could play this game all day. I'm kind of trying to watch my time because I'm not sure how long I've been recording for, and this is probably going to be a long video, but I'm just going to let it be long because I love this game. It's so amazing. I'm going to go this way to get where we need to go. Hop into a save point quick. I may have to split this up into separate parts, but if I decide I want to split it up into separate parts, I will probably do so now, and then you will see part 2 later. But for now, I'm just going to keep playing. Because I want to get this all recorded and out there. So, if we are back right now, hey, welcome back. Obviously Mortem here, playing Castlevania SOTN+. This would be potentially part 2 if I decide to edit it that way. I don't know what I'm going to do, so we'll figure that out later. But glad you joined us. We are playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night with a randomizer to make everything really freaking weird. Things will be named the wrong thing, and they will have an icon for a different type of thing than they actually are, and we're just gonna deal with it. The area that I need to go is just before that boss battle I had in this area earlier with the flying guy and the other guy. I need to get back to just about where they are and go a different direction. There is also, by the way, a secret way. I can go right here that I didn't do earlier, so we'll real quick do that. Put that thing on there, then you can get up here, and you can go over here, and maybe an item up here. Resist stone. Not super important anymore since we got the mirror curse, which actually, now that I think about it, we can take that off and put the other armor back on. We sold all the other stuff that was worthless. Well, had worth, but didn't help us any aside from money. Now and moved. But this is the area I needed to get to. Meant to jump there, but it didn't take. I'm gonna save right here since we're near where I need to go. Yeah, normally you'll probably, I think you're probably noticing that I'm only taking like 1 damage from a lot of things whenever I get hit by an enemy. I don't normally have that sort of thing happen when I play through this. Normally you'll be taking 16, 18, 30, something like that damage each time, and so it's a lot harder. This is the door we can get through because the julep open. But I'm trying to figure out what we can get this direction. Another one of the CD rooms. Well, overwrite this. This area says it's the Ring of Arcana, which typically helps with rare drops, but in actuality, because of the description, I know it is actually the Ring of Ares, which gives me the strength of 24 men. Which is a lot more strength. So now you'll probably see me take a lot more damage because it's got a trade-off to it. You get 24 damage, but King's Stone, hang on. Strengthens power of cross. Okay. We're not using the cross secondary weapon, but that's good to know for later. This one's kind of annoying because you have to jump over it, or you get stuck having to wait for it to fall all the way down. And there we go. Next area. This area has this cool floating sword, which I'm not going to engage right now because I want to go up here and get a different item. Normally up here would be goggles. In this case, it's the grapes, so kind of weird that the game decided to change G items around. Ah, see, there's 6 damage. Now I'm getting hit for a bit more. Need to kind of disarm in here. Ah, this is one of the more annoying, I would call him a mini-boss because he's a little more difficult parts of the game. This area should be blocked off. Oh, it's not. I'm not the blocked off area yet. I'm misremembering my map. This is a pretty cool area. I love this little area because you can sit in either of these seats and different things happen when you sit in them. Like, it's a little confessional. If you sit in... Come on, sit down. There we go. See, like right now, it's the priest. Come and talk to us. If I don't move right there, he actually, like, I think that insta-kills you. I think that's the only thing that happens on this side, but on the other side, you can play the priest and have somebody come sit down and confess their sins for you, or she's a murderous one too. There is a different lady who I think, though, who will come and just sit in the chair and cry. Oh, looks like it's not doing it. Well, be that way then. But yeah, cool little, like I said, Easter eggs that they've been doing. And this song right here, I like this one too. It's just very... so rock, like, it's got that guitar in it. It's just awesome. It makes me feel almost like, kind of like how Power Rangers' theme song was, you know, like it just kind of gives you that hype. It's got those drums. It's just so nice, so nice. I don't know how to express in any more words, but it's very nice. This is the room I can't get through. Fall down to go back up here. This next area is going to have some of the more annoying enemies in the game, because they can knock you back and prevent you from getting more progress. Not those guys. They can too, but they're not the annoying ones. It's these birds. You gotta time hitting these birds right, or they will knock you back. Sometimes the birds will team up with these guys and be annoying. Come on. I know you want a bird. There we go. Come on, bird. Back. See, if I don't time it right, it comes back and hits me like that. There we go. Got rid of them. These girls with the sword are very flashy sword players. Kind of cool. I beat that one pretty easily, but it's not normally that easy. The bells. I love the bells when you hit on them. So nice. And I think once you get the deep stone, you can jump inside of one of them. I think there's like a secret item inside one of them hanging around at the top of it. I may be misremembering that part, but you know what? Oh well. I did find a mystic pendant though. I want to see what that actually is, because it should be... Nah, it's just some sort of sellable ring. Alright. This direction is the spiky way, which I cannot go until I have the ghost form to be able to get through it all. This direction, though, I can go. Just that guitar, man. Whoever is playing that guitar is just rocking out, and I feel it. I feel it in my bones, man. Ah! Getting pinched between those guys. Take that, annoying bird. You thought you had me, but instead, it was I that had you. And now I leveled up, and you died. In real life, I like birds, but this one? That bird, he can just die. He's a Dracula's bird. We don't like him. He's evil. He's also a pain in the butt. Oh, got another boss fight coming up. I can tell because of the color of the thing. This is a cool boss fight too. It is Hippogriff. Come on, buddy. This thing has like lightning powers it can summon on us if it decides to. Right now I'm kind of kicking its butt, I think. Can't really tell because I can't see how much damage I'm doing. Oh, my little dude did it. He killed him. I really like also that painting on the wall there.
Impressive. You're very strong.
What is it you want? You didn't come here to tell me that.
You're right. Do you know the name Richter Belmont?
Of the Belmont clan? Of course, but...
He disappeared about a year ago, and I'm sure he's here. If you see him, please let me know.
As you wish, my lady.
Thank you. So, you do know how to be a gentleman.
So, Alucard actually, was remembering, I think, a different Belmont there from a previous game. He wasn't remembering Richter, he was remembering, I think, someone else of the Belmont clan, because he's, like, 200 years old, so he remembers, like, a Belmont from, like, I don't know, 50 years ago or something, who he actually had met, and I don't think he's actually met Richter before, so that's just kind of an interesting little side deal. But yeah. Another save point. Alright. I could go with this game all day, and I did want to keep playing earlier. I do realize now, though, sitting here, that I have to cut this one off because I have not eaten yet for the day. I need to go eat. I need to have a bio break, that sort of thing. So I think I am actually going to cut this right here, and this will be the end of part 1. So if you guys enjoyed this content, if you found it interesting, if you enjoyed this game, I know I will play more of this game in the future because, like I said, it is one of my favorite games. I could not possibly not do more of this game, and I'm sure it'll come out easy in the recording because it's a PlayStation 1 game, so it's not crazy frame rates, it's not crazy graphics, it's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to cut it off here. I am going to play more later, but I wanted to share this game with you guys. It is definitely one of my absolute favorite games of all time. Check out that Bloodstained game I mentioned. It was also very, very well done. Very much similar to this game. Lots of secrets, those sorts of things. Igarashi, who had created that one and this one, is a wonderful person, I believe. And just this content is... what they've created is top tier to me. So if you feel like that's something you enjoy, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Oblivissi Mortem.